Welcome to Big Natural Talents. Hello.
I was just thinking in the car, like, did we ever even decide that we were like going to do that as an intro every week? We just say it. I don't know.
I kind of like it.
I like it.
But also, you know what we don't do? Say our names.
No. I mean, people, it's in the name.
I don't think people know.
No one's listening.
They're like, so she's big, natural, and she's
Talents.
Mrs. Talents.
Okay. I guess I'm big and you're talents. Fuck me. Well, I'm Lauren Bonner.
And I'm Concetta Caristo.
And this is a podcast, and there you go.
And that's it. So get into it.
So, Concetta, you said that you had some
As
kind
usual.
of dilemma.
Yeah.
Concetta's Dilemma.
It's a new segment called Concetta's Dilemma. It's not new. It's happened almost every week.
Yeah, it's because you have many dilemmas because you're a troubled young woman.
Yeah, I'm a troubled young girl. No, this one I opened to the floor with this dilemma, but it's actually a friend's story that I'm passing through myself.
Someone else's dilemma?
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, but it's still mine. So my other close friend, I was about to say their hair color, but I'm not going to because then people will know.
You have really narrowed, like, as someone who knows you, you're like my other close friend, and I'm like, yeah, you're one other close friend. Like, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But
and no one else
needs to know, but you do have two close friends, and one of them is in this room.
Yeah. And she has like a formal job, like a job in an office, like a fancy job,
a real job,
and
not
she
like
has
what we do.
Not what we do.
Gets paid money, and
real
stuff.
money, yeah.
And
quite a bit of it. And she has her whole group of friends that also all work in like fancy, formal, adult jobs. Okay?
I get it.
They're not in the podcasting business.
How much exposure do they get? What about
Not
that?
much.
Do they get any like exciting opportunities?
Can I just say, there's been something that's really bugging me. Quick detour. That when people get into like promoting themselves and they're not in show business, I'm like, what the fuck is the
what
point?
Do you want?
Stop.
Why are you torturing yourself? Like,
do you know what I mean?
It's not like every day. It's not good.
I just feel like a real estate agent shouldn't be like hustling on TikTok the way that we have to.
Yeah, the real estate agents are what's getting me there. I saw this guy who I went to school with. He's a real estate agent. He was like doing a video and he was like, "Hi, welcome to this house in Castle Hill." And I was like, well, Matt, bet you wish you were in drama with me, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because now you don't have the oratory skills to be a real estate agent because now you got to be a social media star.
So anyways, these people, they don't have social media. I mean, they do, but they don't care about being big or anything.
I could sell a house and it would be like a show.
Yeah, for sure. And so anyways, they were one of the friends, they're all coming to my show, Siena. Quick plug, go see it.
Siena at the Bondi Festival, link in the description.
And one of them has like gone to a COVID place kind of, so they have to like lock down for 2 weeks. And so my friend was saying like, they all were going to chip in and get her like a $50 present just to be like, oh, we hope you're okay.
Yeah, that's nice.
And she was saying that her other very close friend was being really like stingy and was being like, was only going to put in like $10 instead of like, and she was like, what do I do? Like, what the, I know how much money she makes. Like she is on like triple figures or whatever the fuck the word is. And I was just like, oh my God, this is a dilemma. Can you tell your friend that they're being stingy, or do you have to like just divorce that part and like never talk about it? And so she handled it by like, she like, I think the stingy friend put in the group chat like this photo of her holding like a little, I don't know, cupcake or some bullshit or something for her dog. And then
so you can buy your dog a present.
Yeah, and she wrote like, how much did that cost? And she never replied. So
I don't think it was like a dog's cupcake then. Come on. Because that would be petty if they were mad about that. Like if it was a dog's.
But it's just like the point. She was getting across her point by being petty. But I want to know, this is a dilemma. What do you do? Like if your close friend is super like that would drive me mental. You know how giving I am. I have no money and I'm always giving it to people and presents.
But that's always the people who are giving the most money is people who have the least amount of money are the most generous. And it's insane that you've brought this up. I feel like only like one of my good friends listens to this podcast.
Awesome.
So I can kind of talk about this. But I'm not going to say it in a fucked up way. And I wasn't going to talk about this on the podcast.
Okay, but you have to.
But you've now brought it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, similar situation. Like I feel like, especially in my friend group, like we have like, most of us don't have a whole lot of money and a few of us have like decent jobs, but we're all like, none of us are like poor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I say that as well, like I am like, you know, if you look at the statistics of the country, you and I, we are poor.
Yeah, we are quite poor.
Pawpaw. We have Pawpaw ointment, okay? But we're still paying for Pawpaw ointment, like brand name. Like, we're fine.
Yeah.
And we had like a holiday coming up, and then we all paid for the holiday. And then my friend all of a sudden couldn't come on the holiday, which is fine. It's a bummer, but she had a work thing come up, and so she couldn't come. But then she assumed that we would all like chip in extra to like cover her cost that she'd already paid. She was like, when can I get my money back? And we were like, why? It's non-refundable?
No.
Like, it's not.
That's your own thing to bear.
And that's been like kind of like driven a real wedge in the
No. Are there some people who side with her and some who side?
Well, not really. We've all
sided
like,
against her.
Yeah, but we got a partial refund from the actual holiday, but it's not all of it. But then she was still like, where's the rest of the money?
No.
Like, I can't just like give you $20.
That's crazy.
For nothing.
That's what happens when you go into travels. Like, you just have to fork up the risk.
So money can really like fuck up your friend group.
Oh,
I think.
yeah.
So I don't know. I think it depends. Like, I think it's worth being like,
honest.
you know, like, let's just be honest about this.
Yeah.
But also it just depends on if she wants to like, you know, take the high road and not kind of sacrifice. Because people are going to be stingy, and people who are stingy are just always going to be stingy. So as long as she remembers because then next time when they're out and her friend goes, oh, I can't buy a cocktail, I don't have any money, make sure she doesn't go like, well, I'll buy you a cocktail, babe. Because like, she does have money.
Yes.
She just doesn't want to spend it.
Oh my God. I hate people
Yeah.
who say that.
So
I'm like,
yeah.
you don't get to say you don't have money if you have 10 grand in savings.
Yes.
I'm talking, I've got like crickets in all my accounts,
Yeah.
in the savings.
When
in
I
the
say
spendings.
I don't have money, it means I don't have money. It doesn't mean like I don't have money out of like the fake money that I've allocated to myself this week.
Yeah.
And then people end up like shouting you things or something when you don't actually deserve
Yeah, no,
it.
that's
And
not crazy.
it's not-
I'm saying
yeah.
like, really, I cannot go to get Thai with you because I cannot afford it.
Yeah.
And then if you're offering me, then yes, I can come. Thank you.
Thank you. But then that's like with you, like I believe you when you
Yeah,
say
you
if
should.
you have no money, then I would buy you something.
I will literally show you my bank account. Do you want to see all the zeros? And they're
believe
not
you.
behind a 1 or any number. They're just all the zeros.
But I definitely have other friends that will be like, I have no money, and I'm like, I appreciate that you mean you have no money, but I know you have some money.
I'd like to respectfully disagree with
but,
you.
Yeah, but you're deciding that you don't want to spend the money on this thing, and that's fine. And then also like they get that as well. They're like,
and can I just say one more thing? Why this annoyed me so much is because it was being stingy for a generous, beautiful reason of like a thoughtful gift for a friend. That
also,
makes me so pissed off.
$50 gift between a group of people is not much.
Yeah, she's like, I wish it was $50 between 50 people, so we all put in $1. Like, that's mental.
Oh my God. Just opt out of the gift and be like, hey guys, sorry, like I just can't be part of this. Don't put my name on the card, like, and don't pay anything.
Yeah.
You don't get both.
Totally. So
Anyway.
dilemma sorted. Tell your friend.
Sever the ties with this friend. That's actually something my friend said. There was like on this old like forum or something she used to be on, and they would say like so when you're like ending a relationship or like cutting off contact, you'd be like, I'm severing ties with this person, but like the slang of the forum was to just say sever.
Oh wow.
And so now I'm like, I'm gonna say that.
I say snip.
Snip. But that was Concetta's dilemma. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I have a few.
I feel like it's sorted. You have
Can
another
I
dilemma?
just like, they're not real dilemmas, they're just like conversation pieces that I'd
on.
really love to bring to the fore.
Please.
One is, Lauren, have you noticed that Instagram has brought back seeing likes? I think this is huge.
Interesting.
Don't you think this is so interesting? Because in the beginning they were like, Instagram is ruining people's brains and it's so bad for mental health. So Instagram is taking away, and then they've just like slowly brought them back. And it's like, what about what you said before?
It's just insane. Like Instagram never cared about our mental health.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I want to know why it's back. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I'm curious as well. I don't know. I think like, do you like having likes back? Have you opted to have them?
You know what? I think in the beginning it was like, what the fork? And then you like got used to it. And now it's just another change. It's being like, oh, I actually both like it and don't like it.
But I feel like the likes on a post is never like that much of a surprise anyway. And also taking them away for so long has kind of removed their relevance.
I think they don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
I truly feel like it just doesn't matter anymore.
Because it's like, oh yeah, this photo got 100 likes. That's that, you know. Or like the likes are usually relational to followers. Or the only place that I like having likes there is because it's funny when you can see someone's profile and you think they suck and they have like 20,000 followers and then their posts have like 10 likes. And so it's like, oh, you bought those followers.
You absolutely bought those. That's becoming clear.
Yeah. It's
Fake.
naming fakes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Which neither of us are.
Neither. We are so genuine.
Genuinely real. We have just like upwards of 2,000 real horny men following us. They're real guys. And how do we know it? From our fan mail segment.
Every turn. Another thing on socials that was my gripe this week was this girl I went to high school with is posting all these photos on this like holiday. She's in like some remote cabin or something, like with this beautiful window, and she's posting all these photos. And all of the comments are like, oh, like, where is this? It's beautiful. And she's just like not saying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who are you, a celebrity? Like,
oh my God, so
what do you
true.
mean? But then actually she said like, oh, it's near this place in like regional New South Wales. And then I was like, like on Airbnb straight away. And I found it, and I found the cabin, and she's still there. And so I could just go there and kill her.
Oh my God, you should.
Yeah.
How much is it?
But maybe that's why they don't give you the address on Airbnb.
Maybe you should be worried about this girl's safety.
She's like, I'm just in this remote cabin in the country. Here's the address. Yeah, she was right not to share that with me, a killer. I looked it up. It's $400 per night.
Is that a lot?
Yes.
Yeah. I never know.
You don't know. I guess it's like
I
an
don't
Italian
know
thing.
the value of money because I don't have any.
The value of a hard day's work.
Okay, another little thing that I want to bring up is I think I've said this to you before, but realizing how much the content I consume influences me directly, and I want to know if this is relatable to other people.
Poison.
Like when I would watch Sex and the City, I started like just through osmosis like dressing better and dressing like I was in New York. And then when I started watching Girls, I literally started to think like, I think I need to like cheat on my boyfriend or like kiss my boss. Yeah. I wanted to like fuck up my life. I was like, I want to be, it might have been the time that I was like, when me and Lauren went on a trip, I was like, Lauren, the only way I'm going to know what it's like to live a free life is if I flash my tits to a stranger in a car, like in the movies, like Crossroads.
Because when we were in the Gold Coast on tour doing shows, we the car we had was like the guy who runs the show's car, and it was a convertible car. Very fun. And
yellow.
Also, yeah, it's a yellow convertible. It's the ideal summer car to like flash your tits to
Absolutely.
a car, like American Pie, drive off. But the only time Concetta said like, I'm going to do it now was when we were like on foot.
Yeah.
Like on the street. And
walking.
I was like, you can't show someone your tits if we're like walking, because I'm not going to run away. Like,
it was much harder than I anticipated. And it just meant that I had to flash my boyfriend my tits when I got home.
Boring.
Which was so boring. He's like, so what? I've seen him.
Okay.
Are they any bigger? What's the point?
And it was stupid. And she was on foot and he didn't even chase her.
He didn't even care.
Did he at least try to kill me or something? But anyway, we're still yet to do that. But.
So that's that. Do you feel like you get influenced by what you watch? And then I've been listening to the podcast Call Her Daddy, and it's the same thing. It's all very sexualized. And I was like, I need to like go to parties and like do crazy things.
Except like the media I'm consuming at the moment. Like, because then I don't know. It's like the chicken and the egg of like, is this giving me a mental health episode, or am I having a mental health episode because I'm rewatching Grey's Anatomy season 3, you know? Like I just like put it on because I was like crocheting and I was like, oh, I'll just put this on. It's like old. But then now I'm suddenly watching Grey's Anatomy and it's like, oh, like, you know, this is like, I'm tired and I'm busy and I'm a surgeon. And
in my head, what you are consuming that makes up your personality, we're talking Good Housekeeping. We're talking like Golden Girls. We're talking.
But then I'm also listening to a podcast about the plague. About medieval London.
Yeah.
The plague.
And that's your vibe. That's your vibe. And you know how to cure it from all the Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah. It's kind of like chicken and the egg again. Like, I'm like, it's the plague. What is this? The Last Days of Rome?
Oh, hell yeah.
Anywazzles.
Hope people are getting into that in their personal lives from last episode.
I did. I had a few people say it to me and I loved it.
That's awesome. It's in the vocab. Just get it going at your office and your workplace.
Media that we're consuming as well. I feel like in terms of like how I talk, just this morning I was watching something that you watched yesterday that we wanted to talk about.
We are going to talk about
on the pod. And is it time to talk about it now?
Oh yeah, it's time to talk about it.
Which is, we also haven't watched the final season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. No. But we did watch the reunion part 1. And then also I just want to do a disclaimer, like some people are going to be like, because the Kardashians, famously divisive, okay? And people are going to go, I don't want to listen to this Kardashian stuff, and like this will be controversial. But
you can skip ahead if you want.
Skip ahead, I guess, but if you can't handle us at our Kardashians, you don't deserve us at our anywazzles. And that's, you know, bar humbug, I guess, if you don't like the Kardashians. But I've got some notes.
I've got some notes, sweetie. I brought a pad and a pen and I'm ready to go. So if you don't know what the fork we're talking about, the Kardashians, they've had 20 seasons of their famous show that both made them famous and they kind of were famous to get the show. And it's ending. It's finished. They're done. And so they did this big reunion special where all the girlies got together and Andy Cohen.
Just this man who was like...
He's just a man.
They were acting like he was someone and I was like, I've never heard of this man, but
he's just like a big Bravo guy. He's big on the Bravo network. He was
like an E guy. I don't know. But
something like that.
You don't need to know them to get what we're going to talk about because I've got like some questions as well.
I've got some questions.
It just brought up a lot for me.
Can I just say, first up, number one, whose outfit was your favorite? Oof, this is a great question.
I feel like the Kardashians, they're always dressed for a different occasion. So like Kris and Kim were both wearing gowns.
Oh, and I loved to see it.
It was good.
Oh my God.
Kylie's dress I did not like. It looked like a long, like it was very
frumpy.
2000s. Like it was weird. It was like ruched. Kendall looked cool, but she was a bit underdressed.
She was underdressed, honey. Yeah. She's like, oh, you've just walked off the beach. You're in California. No, this is like the event of the year.
Up, Kendall. Like, I know you're a laid back one because you haven't got huge breast implants yet.
We know they're coming, Missy.
They're coming for you, Kendall.
Me and Lauren are chasing Kendall around being like,
with some double D's. And it's like, slow down, honey, because I'm going to get these in you.
Okay. And you're going to slow down like the rest of us.
You want to be part of this family? Then you're going to get some tits and you're gonna get a dump truck ass and you're gonna respect your sisters and what they built for you.
Okay. Oh my, this is a family. This is a unit. This is a brand.
See, this is what they bring out in us.
I'm surprised Kim hasn't like held her down and done it herself. Yeah. The way she treats Kourtney.
Yeah.
I mean,
she'd be like, lock the doors, Dr. Arian is here. And he's injecting you, Kendall.
That was the most insane accent I've ever heard. That's Lauren doing an Armenian accent.
Oh my God.
Who's your favorite?
Probably Kourtney, honestly. I liked.
I hated Kourtney's. That's crazy. I hated Kourtney's. I thought it was so fugly. Okay, so it's kind of a tie. I thought that actually Mama Chris. I loved that gown. Yeah. I loved the
Vivienne Westwood.
Vivienne Westwood, and also Kim too. But like, I truly preferred the like creamy one.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, and I'm sorry to say this because wait, Chloe's always the one that gets shat on, but like her makeup and look, I just saw it was like,
her makeup was
forgettable.
Awesome. We support Khloe Kardashian on this podcast.
No, I thought it was bad.
Oh, you thought it was bad?
Yeah.
I liked her makeup, the dark eye.
Yeah, I don't know the hair.
I wouldn't do it myself because like my face doesn't look like that. I thought it was working for her. Anyway. She was just wearing a black dress. How is that controversial?
It's just like not my vibe.
You're very particular.
I'm very specific and particular.
And I am not.
Okay, next. What have you got?
I just wanted to open with like they were all getting ready and stuff, and then Kourtney walked out, and Kourtney is like probably my least favorite, but I'm kind of
so serious.
I know I'm coming around to her a little bit. Maybe it's Travis Barker because they're dating, and I'm like that's crazy to me. Like I'm like maybe if he sees something in her, maybe I should too.
Totally. I think that's what we're all thinking.
That's what we're all thinking. And she walks out. I just think she's so like dumb sometimes. And she was like, "If you guys felt how soft my feet are," she made everyone touch her feet, and then she goes, "They're like angel feet." There was no context for this.
There's no punchline.
She just walked out and said, like, my feet are really soft. And she wasn't, like, advertising a foot cream or something. She just said,
yeah, anyway, it was just mental.
I had to say that.
You have to say that. Okay. Where does it get interesting? What were the things that stood out?
What pops up for me first, like, was they were talking about, like, they asked them, what did you miss from life before you were famous?
Wow.
And then Kim immediately said, the grocery store, which I was like, oh my God, like that's me.
That would be you.
I love the grocery store.
Totally.
I would hate to lose that.
Wow,
I feel like I'm not going to.
That's so interesting. Yeah,
because I think I don't have to worry about that.
What are they doing? They're getting it delivered. They're like picking it on like an iPad.
Can you imagine if Kim Kardashian like went to Woolworths?
Oh my God, that's
imagine
so
if Kim
true.
Kardashian was at the Marrickville Metro. which they've finally done up the Marrickville Metro, so maybe it is now worthy of her.
Yeah, she might come now.
She might come. Build it and he will come.
That's why they built it. Yeah, they're trying to appeal to
They're
Kim.
trying to Field of Dreams Kim Kardashian into the Metro.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I have a point where Kim was saying that thing where they were like, Kim was always like, do you feel like your family should be more indebted to you because you gave them this? Yeah. And then I loved her point where she said, when she was doing that show deal, she was like, I knew I was actually quite boring and needed them. And I was like, that is so interesting.
I was like, okay, I relate. Because she was like, she said, I wrote down the quote. She said, I'm 10 times more boring in real life. And I feel like that's me. When people are like, right, like see my comedy or something, or even the podcast, and they're like, we should be friends. And then I go meet like my boyfriend's friends and I'm like, hi. And they're like, you just did a big show. Like, how was it? And I'm like, it was good.
Yeah, that's Lauren to a T.
Hi. And then it's like, I'm nothing without my sisters and my family. And I'm nothing without my co-host, Concetta.
My God. I keep it spicy. And I've got a crazy life that people couldn't even imagine I've got.
It keeps me on my toes.
So I thought that was so interesting and clever and real. Yeah. And when I think of people who are boring, it's because they just like live their life well and with intention. Yeah. And like you just care about cooking well and living well and having nice things.
I don't know. I just like romp around wallowing in my little house and shouting at my cat.
So I love that.
Naughty.
I love that point. What else?
I guess I was thinking about so I mean there's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot. I know I don't know how to sort of deal with this.
I guess like another question was like, I think it was funny they're talking about Chris being their manager, like the momager. Famous momager.
Yeah, and if she's like as evil and they're perceived as
and
like...
she's not evil. And then they were like, do you really get 10% of everyone's deal? And I'm like, yeah, that's what managers do.
Yeah.
In fact, they usually take 15.
More. And she said that.
Yeah. She was like, yeah, of course I get paid to do my work.
But I guess, don't you think, again, I think that's like a feminist thing of like, if it's a woman who's powerful and making money moves, everyone's like, well, she's evil and shifty and conniving.
But it's also,
but she's probably just smart.
No, and then
good
also
with
like,
business.
It's show business, okay? Like, listen to this. It's show business, not show.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I always say.
Yeah, you don't forget the business.
That's what my
It's not show fun. It's not show friends.
Said. No, it's show business.
It's show business.
And she's making money. And like, people who don't understand show business are like, oh, well, what do you mean? Like, Kylie did that lipstick herself. No, she didn't. Chris did like more than 10% of that work.
No way.
She did the business.
That's the thing I want to see. I want to watch how humans do. Don't masterclass me. I want to just like be a fly in the wall and watch Chris do her job.
She just would assemble a team of people who are marketing specialists and makeup specialists, and then they would all be at a round table, and then Kylie would come in and she'd be like, what about brown? And then they would all be like, yes. And then they would just like make a product.
Yeah. Okay? And they're like, what color should the line be? And she's like, pink.
And I want to do like all pink. And then they were like, yes. Yeah. And then they make it a product.
And that's right. That's right. Like, it takes a whole village.
It takes a village to make a lip kit.
Okay, what about this? Because again, I'd like to say this was part 1 that we're talking about. And part 2, we will talk about next week, which I think will have more interesting gossip.
Yeah, I think it will.
This one just felt quite tame.
But I also on Momager, I want to say, what would you think your mum be like if your mum was your manager?
She would be horrible. She would be truly terrible. My mum has the lowest threshold for stress. She's not the person you want to go to be calm. She's like just the last person I would want managing me in the world. And I say that full of love and kindness.
I don't even know. I think my mum like wouldn't be that bad. I mean, this is assuming that like your mum then comes with like some industry know-how, because if it was my current mum, like with her current level of know-how, she'd be like, why don't you go on the project?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I guess, but maybe that'd be like kind of good having a really naive manager.
Yeah.
She would just call the project and be like, why don't you have Lauren on? She's funnier and she's more beautiful than any of these girls on the television. Why aren't you why isn't she on the project?
Can she be my manager too, please? I think I need her.
She'd be like, oh, you and Concetta, more beautiful than these girls. You should be on television. You should do hair commercials.
That's awesome.
My mum's always like, you should do ads for shampoo. And I'm like, everyone has fake hair now, Mum. It doesn't mean anything that these aren't extensions.
My mum thinks everything is a scam. When I first told her
That's why you're drawn to me.
I told my mum, I was like, Mum, I got my first like manager for comedy. And she was like, how do you know that they're real? She was like, how do you know that's not a scam? Do you know? And I was like,
he's a con man.
Can you just be happy for me? But maybe that's actually what you want for a manager, ready to be scammed at every second. Okay, and some more things I want to say. The interesting part was the part with her breakup with Chris Humphries. I feel like that was like the big interesting info of being like she felt pressured because she had the show that she obviously had to go.
Which of course she did.
Of course. And also, you know what is so funny? When she was talking about having all his big ugly shoes everywhere and feeling claustrophobic. Sometimes that's what it takes to know that you don't want to be with someone. Yeah. The littlest things you're like, I can just watch her like being disgusted of that big oaf. Like, but he just like was so boring.
Okay, background for people. Sorry. This is entry level. Okay, so Chris Humphries was Kim's first husband. They were married famously for like 40 days,
72 days.
And then he was a basketball player. Is a basketball player. And he sucks. He's just was like rude and an oaf.
Yes,
and
he was rude.
If you watch those episodes, it's like, what's she doing? And then they asked, what was like the moment that you realized that you can't be in this marriage? And she was like, kind of the whole thing. But also, I was like, we were living in a hotel room in New York because he was playing basketball in New York, and he had all of his shoes like around all the edges of the room.
Oh,
and they
that's
were
my
massive
nightmare.
Size 17 shoes.
God.
And she was like, I can't be in here.
And I get that. I can fully get that. If you care about like fashion and you're having tidiness.
She was like, I hate this.
I would never want to see these shoes. I would burn them. I'd set them on fire. I don't give a fuck about your basketball.
And then she got with Kanye, who is probably, I'd say like a size 8 or 9 inches.
Yeah, normal.
But I thought what was funny was because they had all the wedding ready to go and everything. And then Kim said that the night before the wedding, Kim's version was like, the night before the wedding, my mum came to me and she was like, are you sure you want to do this? Because you know you don't have to and we can go. And then Chris goes, no, what I said was, I will put you in a car right now and you can leave. No one has to know.
That's so much cooler. That is so much cooler to know that could happen. That your mum be like, just get out of here.
I'm going to say that to you the night before your wedding. I'm going to say, if you want to go, we can go.
That would be so cool. But she's right. Matters. She would have been the runaway bride forever and ever and ever.
You can't do that.
So interesting. Loved that, breaking up for the big shoes. Another thing was just I thought Court is like so serious and so boring.
Yeah, she's
so
always
serious,
been my least favorite.
And
Courtney.
also, I have a feeling that when they were saying that she's the hardest to manage, because she only says things that she says like that she really believes in, I was like, that's kind of a cool trait. A bit, whereas it's like fully the opposite of me. I'm saying yes to everything and anything and having breakdowns because of it. But I thought like, I don't know, maybe she's just someone who's so private, and why do we have to hate privacy?
I know, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just hard because she's in a family where they like,
we can't blame her. And also like she's perfectly reasonable with all the things she wants to do, which is like her priority is her like family and her kids. Like she has 4 kids.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot.
That's so many.
And then her fight with Kim and stuff was Kim being like,
you
know, Kim's quote, which is like, maybe if you had a business that you really cared about, you would understand. Because Courtney is like, admittedly, she's like, I'm not a businesswoman. She's like, I want to be a mom. And then she hit back. She was like, even if I just wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, like that would be fine, which is true.
Yeah, like that is the feminist thing of this, of like you should be able to do either or any of the things and be respectful. But think of Kim, like Kim's whole life is business. So if you're watching your sister, I know what it's like to judge your sister and be like, you stupid, lazy slut. Like, why? Look at all the work that I do and you do literally nothing when you should be it's so interesting. It's so tricky.
And then Kim talked only a little bit about her and Kanye's breakup, which I thought she dealt with like really carefully, which is like a good idea because he is like the father of her children. And he also, probably because of like his mental health issues, like has said some shit recently.
Yeah.
So I think I can tell that she's being super careful about talking about that because like, her kids will grow up one day and they will see all this stuff that has played out. Yeah. And they don't want to watch that and see her mom trashing him. So, and she didn't do that at all, which was cool.
But she's like never done that.
No.
She's always handled it so well.
She's like, she's Kim Kardashian.
I know.
Kim Kardashian.
She's literally Kim Kardashian and she's so gorgeous and I'm obsessed with her. And then I feel like what was really so funny is I forgot about that Chris has been married since Caitlyn. She's with Corey Gamble. Or not married.
She didn't marry Corey.
But I like forgot about Corey Gamble.
Is she still with Corey?
Yes.
Or did
she's
they
like, I'm so happy. It's all good.
Because I remember they were so sus on Corey at the beginning because he's like not
a security guard.
No, he's just like some rando guy and he was like 50 or 45 years old or something. He was a bit younger than Chris. And imagine him like dealing with these crazy girls. Stepped out of the bloody year. Like,
oh my God. But do you have any more? Because I just want to say what it ended on is like why I'm so excited to watch part 2.
Yeah, you wrap it up.
Yeah, if we just wrap it up, it's like, oh, actually, this was the question that confused me, and I actually have come here for clarification.
Okay.
This literally like confused me. Okay, the question was, do you think you would have split up from your ex? So this is the host to Chris.
To Chris.
The mum. Do you think you would have split up from your ex were it not for the transition? And everyone said yes. Which does that mean even if Caitlyn hadn't transitioned, they were going to break up? Or does that mean they only broke up?
No. That means transition or not. That
were going
relationship was
fraught. That's interesting. I just thought that I was like, I don't know what this means. I was like so confused.
Wait. Yeah.
That says a lot about
that
maybe it was running its course.
It's also hard to say as well though, because I think like, I don't know, it's a complicated thing to talk about. I don't think they broke up outright because Kate, finally came to a point where she could come out. I think maybe because Chris has been pretty open about how Kate was very kind of secretive and stuff for many years and never opened up, which again, like you can understand, like it would be something very hard to talk about. But I think Chris felt pretty betrayed.
For sure. That would be a very complex sort of breakup.
And then after the fact of them breaking up, then Kate, I think, was still not very
so that's the cliffhanger.
Communicative. But
that's the cliffhanger. That's what I want to know. How did Caitlyn treat Chris after? Because I don't know. So that's what I'm excited for.
I think part 2. So we will discuss that.
We'll discuss that next week. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any feelings as well, let us know. I would love more of a dialogue about the Kardashians.
Which, speaking of you guys talking to us, we have had some awesome gossip and some feedback.
Gorgeous.
I have this gossip, which is great. It came from one of our listeners who is very loyal, and she is delivering the goss.
Thank you so much, Queen.
And this is great because it comes from her aunt, who is actually a hairdresser, which we all know. Hairdressers are kind of the nexus of gossip in society.
Yeah, they're the bastions of gossip in the world.
They are like the high priestesses of gossip. And she was like teaching at TAFE or something, teaching hairdressing. And one of her students was away one day, and she was like, "Oh, where were you?" And she was like, "Oh, I was visiting my boyfriend in prison." And then she found out that the boyfriend was in prison because the girl was one day hanging out with a male friend. Okay. And then her boyfriend came and met her and was like, oh, hey, and like was chill about her having a male friend. But then allegedly right at the end of like when he was just leaving, he just like took out a knife and stabbed her male friend, like for being a dude around his girlfriend. And then the guy lived. I don't think he didn't die.
Oh my God.
But he just stabbed him out of nowhere, and so now the boyfriend is in jail, and the girlfriend has stayed by his side. So she like stayed by him for all the charges in jail, and she's like driving all this way to go see him in jail, even though he just like stabbed her friend because she was hanging out with a dude.
Oh my God, that's huge. That's like fully, we have to say, toxic.
It's also like
masculinity, all that shit.
Standing by her man.
Yeah.
Against all odds. Which, that made me think of as well. And like, I love my boyfriend and I would stand by him through anything.
Yeah.
But there was like this Stan documentary. Did you watch it? It was called Outcry.
No.
Oh, it's really good. It's on Stan. It's called Outcry. It's like about this guy it's like they're in high school, which is what I think was crazy. So he's in high school and he gets accused of like a horrible crime. Basically, I think it was like, molesting someone underage.
Yeah.
And he maintains that he's innocent throughout. And he like literally went to jail for like 10 years.
No.
And it turns out he is innocent. He was falsely accused, but it was like they accused the wrong person. It did happen, but it wasn't him. It was another guy who like kind of looked like him.
Oh my God.
But his high school girlfriend stuck with him all throughout this. Him going to jail, convicted of like molestation, like a horrendous crime. And I was watching it and it was like, this woman is amazing for like standing by her man, I guess. But I was like, if my fucking high school boyfriend was accused, tried, and convicted of molestation, I don't think I would stand by my man.
I wouldn't stand by my high school boyfriend for anything. Literally, he could have 2 big shoes, and I'm like, I'm leaving. It's disgusting.
I was like, that's crazy. That's like a level.
Love is so complex and complicated.
It is.
That's all I'm gonna say on that. I'm gonna be very Kim Kardashian about this. It's like so easy for us to judge and whatever. But like, imagine if Ben, and I have a story about Ben, but Ben, I couldn't. Was he accused of? No, but I couldn't love Ben more than like anything. He's the most I've loved a thing, a person, anyone in the whole entire world. And I just think about if something happened, like how difficult or crazy that would be. I mean, again, like, you know, you'd think that if he's like done something horrible, I'd be like, bye, you piece of shit. But God, the love I have for that man, which I have to tell you, something I did this week, which Ben like literally can't stop laughing about. But Lauren,
what?
There's this trailer that's come out that I told you to watch. It's this new movie with Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd, and it's based on a podcast, and I can't remember what it's even called. It's like the therapist next door. And I watched this trailer, and it is so good. I'm obsessed with it for all the reasons. They're my favorite actors. It looks so good. It's like from the A or some shit. I love what it's about. It's got therapy in it.
Okay, objective point of view, it looked fine.
But in my head, it like blew me away. It also had this amazing song. Anyways, I was looking up the song, and it's a Billy Joel song called Vienna, which I didn't realize was like a really huge song. Anyways, I'm in bed. I'm chilling out. It's cold. I've got the door shut. I start playing the song, and I'm just sort of like looking around on my computer, and I'm on Facebook, and I just start looking at Ben's profile, and I'm just like looking at our friendship, and then I'm like scrolling through things, and I'm just like feeling overwhelmed, and I start crying, and then Ben comes home, and he's like, Concetta, what are you doing? And he hears the Billy Joel song. He sees me weeping, and I just and he looks at what I'm doing, and he's like, Concetta, what the fuck have you been sitting here just stalking me and crying and listening to the saddest song? He's like I'm dead, I'm here. And I was just like, I love it. And I just, that's what we're talking about here. I like feel these huge waves of emotion. I can't even process them. And so I couldn't even imagine, like, if I believed Ben so truthfully to not have, like, molested someone, like, of course I would be like, well, sorry, I'm going to stand by my man.
He comes to you and he's like, babe, I've done something bad. And you're like, slow down, you crazy child. You get so worked up. And he's like, I need to tell you I murdered someone. And you're like, Vienna waits for you.
And I'm Vienna. I will wait for you.
I'm Vienna.
Oh my God. So that's that about love and singing by people. That is mental. Like, it's mental. I don't know what to say, but it's like it's so fair for people to be like, what the fork? But then it meant he was innocent. So it was like Slunty knew. She
was right. Anyway.
Oh, I feel so many emotions. What were we talking about?
I don't even know. I guess that was the Curious Cat gossip, which is if you guys have any gossip that you want to submit totally anonymously, you can send it to our Curious Cat. It is Curious Cat / Big Natural Talents or whatever. It's in the description.
You type it in.
But
also we've said that you can send us voice recordings too and email us at bignaturaltalents@gmail.com. Can I go to my goss or do you have more? We can go back forth, back forth. Goss. Okay, gorgeous. So I have goss from another fan / listener, and we can actually use her name, Lisa. So shout out to you, Lisa. Cool. Obsessed with you. Thank you for sending this in. I'm going to read it out.
Yeah.
Okay. She said, hey, I have potential gossip for the podcast or just a fun story of the pod changing lives. Okay, tick, tick, tick. Okay, we're obsessed.
Yeah. Well, I knew it was changing lives, but continue.
She said, I went out with my 2 friends for cocktails and we went to a fancy, fancy place, brackets. Everyone else was just old white men and their younger girlfriends, close brackets.
Where I like to go.
Yeah, we go there. To create our own fun, I introduced my friends to your game, brackets. Who would you sleep with and who would you want in the room watching and commenting? Yes. Famously called Fuck Watch.
Fuck Watch.
She said, then I decided to ask our cute waiter to play, asking him to decide between the 2 bartenders making cocktails. And he says, well, the one with glasses we call Ben 10 because he has a 10-inch penis. So I would fuck him for sure.
The hospitality industry is insane. Okay, can I just say that? Like, is there sexual harassment? Is that such a thing in the hospitality industry? No, it's not. People talk about comedy being the wild, wild west of workplaces. No, I think it's hospitality. Because it's like, oh yeah, that's my coworker. We know the length of his penis. And we refer to him based on that. And that's normalized, and I'm going to tell you about it.
She said, great workplace gossip. We did share this with the female waiter, and she was shocked. Her words, I understand so many of the inside jokes now.
Oh my gosh, she didn't know.
She didn't know. And she said, in conclusion, we were the highlight of that fancy place and got 3 free cocktails. Brackets, not from Ben 10, sad face. Ending on, love your podcast. Lisa, that is some gorgeous gossip, and it shows you a clear way how fuckwatch really brings people together. I insist you do it with your Uber driver, with anyone in the world that you want to just like break the ice.
Yeah.
Try fuckwatch. It's a great game.
This intimate question.
Who would you fuck and who would be watching out of 2 people?
Out of your co-workers. And if you don't know the size of their dick, then you guys aren't a close enough team.
Really must find out.
You need to do some more team building. Okay, if you don't know if your co-worker has a 10-inch penis. I guess if you had a 10-inch penis, like you would just
be telling
people. And you would get around.
Yeah. I got 1 cup size. I'm sending out emails. I'm sending out newsletters. I'm like, everyone, have a look.
Excuse me, everybody. And then we also got just like a nice email from our listener, which if you guys like love the pod, we always love hearing from you.
Please talk to us.
She recommended to us that we watch the Billie Eilish documentary, which I haven't watched.
Oh, let's watch that.
We should watch it. Have you watched Lady Gaga 5'2"?
Yeah, and it's Ben's favorite documentary in the whole world.
It's amazing
because he loves Italian women.
Yeah, Lady Gaga, she's cooking chicken for Bradley Cooper, and then she's getting a massage every day, and it's...
Oh my god, what do you think of it? Do you like it?
Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. I love it. I love it so much.
We should watch it again.
Okay. I was like with 2 of my friends, and one of my friends was like having a hard time, and we were like, sit down, you need to watch this. And then she like walked away, and we were like, well, I just don't know how to get through to her. And then she watched it on her own time, and she was like, thank you.
That's awesome.
But yeah, she said that we should watch the documentary, and it was like crazy because Billie Eilish is only 17, but she's like seems so switched on, which is crazy because I feel like I am still not switched on.
We're off. We're both off.
I am off. And then she said what I thought was funny, like when she was 17, actually she didn't even tell me this was gossip, but I am gonna read it on the podcast. She was just like seeing a guy who wasn't even her boyfriend, and he like ghosted her like before ghosting was even a thing. And I was like, well, maybe she like was the first
ghosted person.
She invented ghosting.
Maybe she like coined. I want to know if this is ghosting. I saw a bus pulled up at a bus stop, and a guy was trying to get on the bus. He was like banging, and the bus driver just stared straight forward as if he didn't exist. Then he went around to the front. He didn't give up. He went around to the front. Was like waving, and the bus driver was just looking like he didn't exist. And I was like, this is like a live ghosting. This was so brutal. It was, and
that bus driver had boundaries.
Oh my! I mean,
they stood by them.
It was psychotic. It's like, whose side are you on, the bus driver or the guy who was maybe late to get the bus?
No, I'm on the bus driver. The bus driver was like, I'm severing. Sever.
Snip, snap.
Snip, snap.
Oh my god, that is so great. And I have one more thing about in our past episodes when we talked about, and Cameron James brought this gossip to us, friend of the pod.
Leo DiCaprio, and he famously wears headphones while having sex, but you're never gonna guess where I then heard this again. I've been listening to, as I said, the Call Her Daddy podcast, which is just like this huge giant podcast from like 2 girls. Anyways, it's 1 girl now, and I went back and listened to one of their first ever episodes, and they said that I can't remember if they've heard this or it was one of their close friends. Yeah.
Surely, I think it was one of their close friends. It was like they knew someone
they would
directly who's fucked Leo DiCaprio. And there's more to the story than we even know.
Please.
In his house, at the back of the house, he has a giant glass dome.
A dome?
A dome that's see-through, and in it is a mattress and a bed, like... And
mattress on the floor. I love that idea. Yeah, that he's like, I'm going to build this dome, but at my core, I'm still a fuckboy. I'm going to put this mattress on the floor.
And he says to her, he's like, take your pants off and like come in here. And so then they go in there, they start doing doggy, and they were saying that like maybe people don't look back when they're having sex with Leo because they're too scared to, but she did.
You don't look back.
And that's when she saw the Bose headphones.
Oh
like,
my God.
It's
over
real.
Ear, noise,
it's real.
Canceling. Don't, if you're fucking Leo DiCaprio, oh my God, what is that like Greek myth where if you look back, you will turn to stone? And it's like going
on. Is that Medusa if you look her in the eyes?
No, yeah.
Or look in the water?
No, it's like
Narcissus? I don't know.
There's a lot of looking in Greek mythology, but there is one where they're like walking out of some kind of situation and someone who knows anything is listening to this being like, you stupid bitch.
Okay, if you're like a Greek scholar, DM us. Like,
okay,
what the fuck?
DM us, I guess. Fuck, are you smarter than me? But don't look back because Leo will be wearing it.
And that's it. I mean, that's a great place to leave it on, I reckon.
Pretty much it. The only thing I wanted to leave us on was, which I thought would be a really fun, quick one.
Yeah.
Because we're nearly at 45 minutes and that is enough. I looked at my frequently used emojis.
Great.
And I thought you could look too.
Oh, cool.
And they were very me. Okay, my frequently used emojis. And I encourage you all, so everyone look at your frequently used emojis. Let us know if you think that they are.
Is it
describing just like frequently these first ones? See, yours are interesting. Mine are all faces.
Wow.
And the first one is red, angry face that is swearing.
Awesome.
And then the next one is like the eyes that are like
you should show
begging.
the camera.
Can you see that?
I think you can.
I think
we've
got to describe it.
Yeah, okay, keep describing.
The eyes that are like begging, how do you describe that one? They're like pathetic eyes.
It's the pathetic like...
It's like, ooh. So I'm either shouting or I'm, ooh.
Like baby face.
Baby,
like
or
big
I'm
eyes.
like sad crying. Or then the other emoji that just looks like deeply depressed.
That's so funny. Can you read out mine?
And Concettas are a red love heart. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she's sending that about food, about Ben, about pasta, anything. And then just like a thumbs up, which is like very passive aggressive, I feel.
Yeah, but also supportive.
Yeah. Pink heart with a bow. Girly.
Yeah. I like that. I'm girly.
And then also this is the funniest one, which is weird, which is like the blue head that is like shouting. It's just like a blue head like speaking. It's like saying
I don't even use that one that much. This is bullshit.
It looks like it's spreading COVID particles or something.
Yeah. I was writing about Siena in the show and why you should come because COVID will be a hotspot.
COVID is popping off. Yeah, and then that's what I said. So Concetta is doing her show Siena at the Bondi
Festival, July 2nd and 3rd.
And don't come if you are sick. But I did say if someone with COVID did come to the show, it would be great publicity.
Yeah, so please come.
I'm just saying it would be on the news. Yeah. It would be a hot spot. It'd be patient zero. And
it'd be worth it.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Anyway, I think that's about it.
That's it for this week.
Yeah, the only other thing is, Bird Brain issue 3 is out now.
Yes, go buy it. You got to get it.
It's a little magazine. It's got writing from Naomi Higgins. I do the foreword, Zach Ruan, Joyride, Cameron James.
They're huge names, and Lauren is enough to get it. We'll put the links in the show notes, and you know our bios and shoot. As usual, Absolutely. We are going to beg, borrow, and steal to tell you to please review our podcast. Please leave it 5 stars and a gorgeous, favorable review. You don't know how much it helps us.
It really helps us if you just say that we're really good and it's all we have. And also please send us your gossip. Please be asking people for gossip. If you get a haircut, you have a responsibility to ask your hairdresser for gossip, okay?
You know, it's fun to just not talk about COVID for 1 second or what's the weather like? Like no one gives a fork. Let's get into the gossip.
Yeah. Let us know anything that's going on and send it through anonymously by email. You can send us a voice recording if you want to hear your voice on the pod. That's exciting. Or we can read it out. So thank you so much.
And see you next week.
Bye. Bye.